Hi everybody, and welcome to another quick tutorial on how to make a custom scene transition in Vegas Pro 17 that you can use in your live streaming setup to add that very high quality production value that's going to put you above your competition. When all said and done, it should look something very similar to this. Pretty cool, right? Let's get into it. The first thing we're going to cover today is how a scene transition works, so that way you know how to employ it best in your live stream setup. So the way a transition works is it's basically an image or an animation that comes in, it covers your scene entirely and allows for the scene to flip behind the image so that way nobody can see it, and then it leaves the screen showing the new scene and nobody knows what happened behind it. It really does add a nice quick little bit of production value to your live streaming setup that definitely sets you above and beyond your competition. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and create a new video track, and we're going to go ahead and pull in the PNG that I'm using, which is just, again, my standard template that I use for most of my panels and transitions and things like that. I'm going to go ahead and drag this down to the 2-second mark. I think 2 seconds is pretty much the minimum time that you need for a transition. Any longer than that and it also is going to get pretty obtrusive, but it is case by case depending on what you're trying to achieve with your transition effect. So we've dragged that down to 2 seconds, and now what we're going to do is go to the first keyframe here, and we're going to go ahead and pull up the event pan crop tool, which is right here at the top of your video track. Once you open that box, we're going to go ahead and pull it up here and extend it so that way we can see the entire keyframe here. And I definitely always recommend that you have your sync cursor on for this, just as a making sure that you are always synced with your main time. Now for this, you can see that my image is actually at a different aspect ratio than the project that we're working with. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to try to make it fit the screen, and we're going to end up with these kind of black bars on top and bottom. That's definitely something that I don't want. I want it to cover the whole screen, otherwise you're actually going to be able to see the scene behind it flip, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead, right click on this image, and I'm going to go match output aspect, and what that's going to do is force it to be at the ratio of this actual scene. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shrink this so that way it covers the whole screen how I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and move this up a little bit so that way those bars are covering, shrink it a bit more. All right, there we go. So that's covering everything that I want. I can see everything that I would like, and that's pretty much the exact position that I'm gonna want it in when it does cover the whole screen. So now we've got the size to match. What we're going to end up doing now is creating the animation. So you want to make sure you're at the beginning of your keyframes timeline here, and again on your main timeline. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this item all the way to the right, because I want this transition to come in from the left until it is no longer in frame. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the 1 second mark, which for this is halfway. And what we're going to do is we're going to drag this back until the image covers the entire frame. Now we don't want it anywhere like here. It looks like it's covering most of the frame, but you'll actually be able to see, because it's got a transparent background in these corners, when the scene flips, and you don't want that. It kind of ruins the immersion. So definitely make sure whatever image you're using covers the entire screen, as it is here. I'm gonna go just a little bit more to make sure that we're not missing anything. And then what we're going to do is I'm actually going to copy this keyframe. I'm going to post it just a little bit later. I'm going to paste it over here. And the reason I'm doing that is that way it holds for just a split second. It allows you more time to make sure that that scene transition is happening within that window, and you don't have to really make sure it's happening on exactly the 0.1 second mark or whatever the case is. And then at the very end of our project here, we're going to go ahead and drag this all the way back out the same way that it came, so that way the animation has it moving in and then back out. So let's see how that looks. And as you can see, we've created a pretty smooth, flawless transition that does cover the entire screen. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and add the sound that I want on this to add that little bit of extra flair. So to add that sound, we're going to go ahead and right click here and insert an audio track. I'm going to take the sound that I want, which is this pixelated de-escalate noise that I've got. We're just going to go ahead and line it up and make sure that that works. Alright. Sounds like it's working. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm just going to add one over here as well. Go ahead and paste that. And then to make it sound like it's doing the opposite, so it comes in and then it comes back out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and reverse that. Pull this over just a little bit. And let's see. Alright. Pretty cool. So that's a very effective, simple, but powerful way that you can add high level of production value to your live streaming setup. With these basic principles, you can take whatever image or animation you would like, and you can create a scene transition that you can use in your personal stream. Thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you can find more content like this whenever I do post. And go ahead and leave a comment in the descriptions about any other tutorials you might like to see me make in Vegas Pro or in any other programs I use.